The church doors swung open with a creak that echoed like a gunshot, and in walked Finn, his face a mask of forced composure, but his eyes betraying the storm inside. He hadn't seen Mark in 10 years, not since that rainy night when Mark had left him broken on the apartment floor, whispering apologies that meant nothing. Now, here Mark was, invited by Finn's own mother to his wedding, to a woman he barely loved, because she believed this was the path to redemption, to normalcy, to erasing the sin she could never accept. Finn's heart pounded as he stood at the altar, tuxedo feeling like a straitjacket, his fiancée Lisa beaming beside him, oblivious to the undercurrents ripping through the room. Why had Mom done this? Did she think confronting the past would seal it away forever? Inside, Finn screamed. This isn't redemption. This is torture. He glanced at Mark, seated in the third row, looking older but still devastatingly handsome, and the memories flooded back. The stolen kisses in college dorms, the whispered promises under starlit skies, the way Mark's touch had made him feel alive for the first time. But then came the betrayal, Mark choosing his family's fortune over their love, leaving Finn to piece himself together in a world that demanded he hide who he was. As the ceremony dragged on, Finn's mind raced. He thought of the therapy sessions where he'd convinced himself he could be straight, could build a life with Lisa, a kind woman who deserved better than his half-hearted affection. But every night, the doubts crept in. Was this living, or just surviving? His mother's voice echoed in his head, from years ago. It's a phase, Finn. Pray it away. For the family. She'd orchestrated this wedding like a general, inviting old friends, including Mark, as if to prove her point, that the past was dead. But seeing Mark now, Finn felt the crack in his facade widening. What if he couldn't go through with it? What if the truth burst out right here, in front of everyone? The priest's words blurred into noise as Finn's internal battle intensified. He remembered the day after Mark left, how he'd stared at the mirror, hating the reflection of a man too weak to fight for his own happiness. Society had drilled it into him. Be normal, fit in, don't rock the boat. But the boat was sinking, and he was drowning in lies. Lisa squeezed his hand, her eyes full of hope, and guilt stabbed him deeper. She thought his distance was pre-wedding jitters, not the war waging in his soul. Mom sat in the front, smiling triumphantly, as if this union would wash away the shame of his mistake with Mark. But Finn knew better. This was no victory. It was a cage. Halfway through the vows, Finn's resolve faltered. His mind flashed to the letters he'd written but never sent to Mark, pouring out the pain, the longing, the anger. Why had Mom invited him? To rub salt in the wound? Or was it her twisted way of forcing closure? The congregation shifted, whispers rippling as Finn hesitated on his I do. Inside he debated, say it and live a lie forever. Walk away and face the fallout. The family's rejection, society's judgment, Lisa's heartbreak. The weight crushed him, each second stretching into eternity. Mark's eyes met his from the pew, and in that gaze, Finn saw regret, maybe even love still lingering. It was too much. As the ring exchange approached, Finn's thoughts turned darker. He imagined the life ahead. Kids, suburbs, pretending every day. But what about his dreams, buried under expectations? The moral dilemma tore at him. Was it wrong to marry Lisa knowing his heart belonged elsewhere? Society said yes, stay the course. His soul screamed no. The priest prompted him again, and Finn opened his mouth, but no words came. Panic surged. Mom's face tightened. She knew something was off. In that moment, Finn realized this wasn't just about love. It was about survival. Betray himself, or betray everyone else. The choice loomed like a guillotine. The ceremony paused, a hush falling over the room. Finn's inner voice raged. You've hidden long enough. But the fear was paralyzing, losing his job, his friends, his family's love. Mark's presence amplified it all, a living reminder of what he'd lost. As Lisa looked at him questioningly, Finn made a split-second decision. He couldn't do this. Not anymore. But how to escape without destroying everything? The tension built, his heart racing toward an inevitable explosion. Finn's hand trembled as he held the microphone later at the reception, the weight of the room's eyes pressing down like judgment from above. The wedding had proceeded in a blur after his near collapse at the altar, vows mumbled through gritted teeth. But now, with champagne flowing and toasts underway, the facade cracked further. Mom had cornered him earlier, whispering fiercely, "Don't ruin this, Finn. For once, think of the family." Her words ignited the fury he'd suppressed for years. The same woman who'd invited Mark, knowing the history, now demanding silence. Inside, Finn seethed. How dare she play God with my life? He scanned the crowd, spotting Mark at a corner table, nursing a drink, avoiding eye contact. The sight fueled his turmoil. 10 years ago, Mark had chosen safety over them, bowing to his conservative parents' threats of disinheritance. "I can't lose everything," Mark had said, tears in his eyes, as if Finn's heart wasn't everything to him. Now here they were, orbits colliding again because of Mom's meddling. Finn's mind whirled with what-ifs. What if Mark had fought? What if I had? The regrets piled up, each one a brick in the wall of his resentment. Lisa danced with her father nearby, laughing, and guilt twisted like a knife. She was innocent in this mess, a pawn in his attempt to conform. As the DJ announced the groom's speech, Finn stood, legs unsteady. His prepared words about love and future happiness felt like ash in his mouth. Instead, unbidden thoughts surged. Tell them. Expose the lie. But the consequences loomed. Mom's heartbreak, Dad's silent disapproval, friends' whispers turning to outright rejection. Society's invisible chains tightened. In America, land of the free, but not for men like him in small-town circles. The internal conflict raged fiercer now, pushing him toward the edge. Was honesty worth the destruction? Or was quiet suffering the moral high ground? He cleared his throat, voice echoing. "Today marks a new beginning," he started. But the words stuck. Eyes on him, expectant. Mom beamed, proud of her fixed son. Mark shifted uncomfortably. Finn's heart pounded. This is it. The moment to choose. Flashbacks hit. Nights alone after Mark left, questioning his worth. Society's voices labeling him deviant. Therapy had helped, but not enough to erase the shame drilled in by family sermons and judgmental stares. Lisa's smile faltered slightly. She sensed the shift. Inside, Finn debated. Betray her trust, or betray my soul? The drama intensified, emotions boiling over. Pausing, Finn gripped the mic tighter. But beginnings come from endings, he continued, voice cracking. The room quieted. He thought of the letters again, the unsent pleas for understanding. Mom's invitation to Mark wasn't kindness. It was control, a reminder that his past was her weapon. Anger surged. She's forced this confrontation, so why not use it? Mark met his gaze now, pleading silently, "Don't do this." But Finn's resolve hardened. The moral quandary deepened. Revealing the truth would hurt many, but living the lie hurt him more. Was self-preservation selfish or essential? He dove deeper into the speech, veering off script. "Love isn't always what we expect," he said, words tumbling out. Gasps rippled. Mom's face paled. Inside, Finn's thoughts screamed. Finally, freedom. But at what cost? Lisa's confusion turned to worry. The tension escalated, the room a powder keg. He recalled college days with Mark, the joy stolen by fear of outing, of violence, of loss. Society's prejudices had won then. Would they win now? The internal storm peaked. Choose pain for truth, or numbness for peace. As he built toward the revelation, doubts assailed him. Dad sat stoic, the man who'd taught him to be strong. But strong meant hiding weakness in their world. Betraying family values felt like treason. Yet, the damage of suppression weighed heavier, the anxiety attacks, the empty relationships. Mark stood subtly, as if to intervene. Finn's mind raced. He's here because he cares, or because he's guilty? The emotions overwhelmed, tears pricking his eyes. This wasn't just drama. It was a reckoning. The speech hung on a precipice, Finn's voice trembling. "There's something you all need to know," he uttered, the words irrevocable. The room held its breath. Inside, he braced for the fallout, knowing this choice would redefine everything. The price of authenticity loomed large, but so did the cost of denial. The microphone amplified Finn's next words like thunder. "I can't marry you, Lisa. Not like this." The reception hall erupted in chaos. Gasps, murmurs, Mom's sharp cry cutting through. Lisa's face crumpled, a mix of shock and betrayal, her dream shattering in public view. Finn's heart ached at the sight. He'd never wanted to hurt her, but the lie had grown too monstrous. Inside, turmoil raged fiercer than ever. Was this courage or cruelty? The moral lines blurred, society's expectations clashing with his desperate need for truth. Mom rushed forward, face twisted in fury and pain. "What are you doing, Finn? After everything?" Her voice cracked, revealing the fear beneath her control. The fear of scandal, of her son's deviance exposed. Finn met her eyes, memories flooding. Childhood lectures on sin, forced church camps to cure him, her denial when he first confessed his feelings for Mark. She'd invited Mark to taunt him, to force compliance, but it backfired. Now, the confrontation escalated, emotions raw and unchecked. "You did this, Mom," he whispered inwardly. "You pushed me here." Lisa pulled away, tears streaming. "Why now? Why here?" Her question pierced him. He tried to love her, convinced himself attraction could be learned, but every intimate moment felt like performance. The guilt intensified. She deserved honesty from the start, not this public humiliation. Society's pressure had trapped them both. Her in a false fairy tale, him in a role he couldn't play. Inside, Finn wrestled. Am I the villain for waking up, or the hero for ending the charade? The drama thickened, stakes higher with every second. Mark approached hesitantly, the man who'd started it all. "Finn, don't," he murmured, but his eyes held unspoken regret. 10 years of silence, and now this. Finn's mind screamed, "You left me to this fate. Why come back?" The betrayal stung anew. Mark's choice to prioritize family wealth over their love, a wound that never healed. But seeing him stirred old feelings. Love mixed with hate, longing with resentment. The internal conflict peaked. Forgive him, or use this to lash out? Moral dilemmas swirled. Revenge or redemption? The crowd buzzed. Phones out. Whispers turning to accusations. Dad stood silent, disappointment etched deep. The patriarch who'd expected a real man. Finn felt the weight of generations. Immigrant roots demanding conformity. No room for deviation. "You're tearing us apart," Mom hissed, grabbing his arm. Her pain mirrored his own, but hers stemmed from loss of control, his from years of suppression. Emotions surged. Pity for her ignorance, anger at her manipulation. Was her love conditional, tied to her ideals? The question haunted him. Lisa fled to the bathroom, friends trailing. Finn followed inwardly, regretting the hurt but not the truth. He'd sacrificed his youth to please others, burying desires under duty. Now, the awakening brought agony, but also clarity. Mark lingered nearby, conflicted. "I never stopped loving you," he admitted softly, words like daggers. Finn's heart twisted. Too late, or a second chance? The tension mounted, decisions looming with irreversible costs. Mom confronted Mark next, voice venomous. "You did this to him. You corrupted my boy." Her accusation ignited Mark's defense. "No, you did, by never accepting him." The exchange exposed the fractures. Family versus self, tradition versus truth. Finn watched, torn. Intervene, or let the truths collide? Inside, emotions overwhelmed. Relief at secrets airing, terror at the fallout. Society's judgment loomed. Lost jobs, shunned friends, perhaps violence in their conservative town. Was freedom worth the exile? As the chaos peaked, Finn's resolve deepened. This wasn't just personal. It was a stand against the prejudices that chained so many. But the price? Lisa's broken heart, Mom's shattered illusions, weighed heavy. The night spiraled, revelations piling up, each one a step toward unknown territory. In the aftermath, as guests trickled out in stunned silence, Finn found himself alone with Mom in the empty hall, the wreckage of the reception surrounding them like battlefield debris. "How could you?" she sobbed, collapsing into a chair, her perfect world crumbling. Finn knelt beside her, emotions clashing. Love for the woman who'd raised him, hatred for the cage she'd built. "I had to, Mom. Living a lie was killing me." Inside, the turmoil raged hotter, questioning every step. Was humiliating her justified, or just revenge? The moral ambiguity gnawed, society's echo chamber amplifying the doubt. Dad joined them, his silence breaking at last. "You've shamed us all." His words cut deep. The man who'd modeled stoic masculinity now facing his son's rebellion. Finn's mind raced back to boyhood, hiding comic books with male heroes, fearing discovery. Dad's disapproval stemmed from fear of what neighbors would say, what the church would preach. "I'm still your son," Finn pleaded inwardly. But the divide widened, emotions intensifying. Pity for their ignorance, fury at their refusal to evolve. Was forcing change selfish or necessary? Mark reappeared, offering a tentative hand. "We need to talk." His presence amplified the chaos, old wounds reopening. Finn pulled him aside, voice low. "Why come? To watch me implode?" Mark's eyes filled with tears. "Your mom invited me to see how far you've come. But I came because I never moved on." The confession stirred a whirlwind, betrayal revisited, but laced with hope. Inside, Finn battled. Trust him again? Risk more pain? Or close the door forever? The drama escalated, stakes personal and profound. Lisa emerged, composed but shattered. "I deserve an explanation." Her demand forced Finn to confront the damage. "I thought I could change. For you, for everyone. But I can't." Her slap echoed, rightful anger unleashed. "You used me." The accusation hit true, guilt flooding him. He'd traded her happiness for his facade, a moral failing that haunted. Emotions peaked. Remorse overwhelming, but liberation flickering. Society's script had cast them in roles neither fit. Breaking free meant breaking hearts. Mom overheard, intervening with venom. "This is his fault," pointing at Mark. The finger-pointing ignited a full confrontation. Mom versus Mark, Finn in the crossfire. "You both ruined my life." Finn exploded inwardly, but aloud. "No, the lies did." The revelations poured. Mom's secret therapy funds to fix him, Dad's quiet complicity, Mark's regretted abandonment. Each truth stripped layers, exposing raw nerves. Inside, Finn's conflict deepened. Forgive to heal, or hold grudges to protect. The emotional intensity soared, tears flowing freely. As alliances shifted, Dad siding quietly with Mom, Lisa storming out. Finn faced isolation. Friends texted condemnations, society's backlash swift. "Freak," one read, echoing prejudices he'd fought internally. But Mark stayed, offering solidarity. "We can face this together." The temptation grew, but doubt lingered. Was this love or desperation? Moral choices multiplied. Rebuild with him or alone? The night's toll mounted, exhaustion mixing with epiphany. In the quiet hours, reflections dominated. Finn pondered the broader fight, against laws ignoring equality, communities shunning difference. His actions rippled outward, perhaps inspiring others, but at personal cost. Emotions rawer now, hope amid despair, strength from vulnerability. The path ahead uncertain, but authentic. Dawn broke as Finn drove away from the venue with Mark in the passenger seat, the silence heavy with unspoken futures. Mom's final words rang in his ears. "Don't come back until you've fixed this." Her ultimatum severed ties, the family he'd sacrificed for now lost. Inside, grief consumed him. Was truth worth orphaning himself? The moral reckoning intensified, society's rejection a constant shadow. But in the ruins, a fragile peace emerged. No more hiding, no more pretense. They stopped at a diner, coffee steaming as words finally flowed. "I should have fought for us," Mark admitted, voice breaking. Finn's heart clenched. Forgiveness beckoned, but scars resisted. "You chose money over me." The accusation hung, reopening old pains. Mark's story unfolded. Pressure from affluent parents, threats of ruin, his own internalized shame. "I was weak," he confessed. Finn's internal storm raged. Empathize or condemn? Emotions overwhelmed, love clashing with betrayal in a torrent. Back on the road, Finn's phone buzzed with Lisa's message, "I hate you, but I understand." Her grace amplified his guilt, a reminder of the collateral damage. He'd upended lives for self-discovery, a choice debatable in ethical courts. Society's voices echoed. Selfish deviant or brave pioneer? The conflict peaked, tears blurring the highway. "What now?" Mark asked. Finn pondered. Rebuild together, facing prejudices head-on? Or part ways, healing solo? The decision loomed, heavy with consequence. Arriving at Finn's apartment, memories assaulted. The same place Mark had left him years ago. Full circle, Finn thought bitterly. They talked through the day, unraveling threads of hurt and hope. Mom called once, pleading reconciliation on her terms. Finn hung up, heart shattering anew. The emotional depth plunged further. Loss of kin, gain of self. Was this victory? Moral ambiguities swirled, honoring one's truth versus familial duty. As evening fell, resolution formed. "I want to try again," Finn said, vulnerability raw. Mark's embrace felt like home, but caution tempered joy. They'd face backlash, job losses, social exile, perhaps threats in their divided America. But the awakening empowered. No more apologies for existing. Emotions crested, a mix of fear, love, defiance. The journey ahead promised more trials, but authenticity as armor. Reflecting alone later, Finn questioned the path. Had he chosen right, sparing future generations his pain? Or wrong, inflicting unnecessary hurt? The debate lingered, unresolved. In the end, was Finn's revelation at the wedding a heroic stand against oppression, or a selfish act that destroyed innocent lives?